Howdy, folks, and welcome back to Reading Held Hostage. My name's Blue, and I love to read.
My name's Justin, and I don't like reading.
You don't? Shocking news that I learn every episode.
I'm upset with you.
Why?
You told me there's going to be another character.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Why'd you do this?
So, we'll just hop right into it. So today we're starting The Fall of Five.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the fourth book in the series, out of 7, so we're getting there. Halfway through.
Which one's 5?
We don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
So, right? 4, 6. Power of 6. The Rise 9, Fall of 5. Okay. So, this is the back of the book. They brought in their leader. They thought they had won. They were wrong. This fight is far from over. We are finally reunited. We have more power than ever before. We have lost battles. Kind of a weird...
Radical. Cool brag, dude.
Two more lines. We will not lose this war. Lorien will rise again.
The South will rise again.
Whoa.
What?
Take that back.
I mean, yeah, Lorien.
So that's the back of the book. This is The Fall of Five.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also, this is our episode 50. Woo.
Ooh.
Woo.
Woo.
Okay. So I read the back of the book.
Halfway there.
Then we're done at 100.
We're done.
That's it. Whatever happened at 100, that's it. That's all you get. Yes. So one of the questions I had for you as we start this book is, Justin, there are 3 more characters introduced. Well, yeah, 3 brand new characters introduced. Do you want to try to guess 1 or 2 of there, or even all 3?
5.
Okay, well, that's an easy one, but yes.
If they're still hidden, probably has their Sapon.
Okay, so it's 5 Sapon.
Um,
Proud of you for remembering the word.
And then, like, a new big bad Moog.
Okay, a new bad Moog?
Yeah.
Okay, so those are your 3 guesses. Do you have, like, 3 guesses for this book? Like, what do you think the plot's all about? It's called The Fall of Five.
He gonna trip.
Oh, no.
He's gonna trip and spill his coffee.
You think he's a boy? Your gender? You're
Yep.
assuming his gender right now? Okay.
Liberals, come at me.
Libs. Okay, so keep guessing. Give me 1 or 2 guesses. What's, like, your big overarching plot for this one, do you think?
Well, I think one of the numbers is gonna fucking die.
Okay. Well, that's interesting because my next question was, I'm telling you somebody dies.
Oh.
Who do you think it is? And you have to be specific.
Marina.
You think Marina's dead?
Yep.
Number 7? The woman from Spain?
Yep.
Okay. And the final question I have for you is, there are 3 different POVs. Any guesses as to who's the POV?
John 6 and 8?
You got 1 right. Do you want to do another guess?
No, I'm good.
Okay. It's John, Sam, and Marina for some fucking reason.
Why Sam?
Why Marina? Who gives a shit
Because she
about
dies
Marina?
this book.
Oh, right. I forgot she died this book. That'd be pretty badass, giving her a POV and then offing her halfway through.
His sword goes through my chest.
Alright, so I got an important characters list. So we've got John Smith. Henri doesn't need to be on here anymore because he's dead. Dead. Sam Good, still involved. Mm-hmm. Sarah Hart, still involved.
For some reason.
Bernie Kosar.
That dog.
Yep. We've got number 6. Marina. 9. Ella. 8.
Ella's 10, right? But not really 10.
Yeah, and she's also 11 years old.
Okay.
Which pisses me off the most out of anything that happens in all of these books, is that she's 11 years old.
Why so little?
Look, I get the idea of a young adult novel and the main characters are like 16, 17, 18. 11?
She's
a baby.
That's child.
I've also got the characters who will introduce... Well, I guess 2 of them get introduced right off the motherfucking bat, so... We start with Sam. The first 4 chapters are all Sam, and they're all boring. He's trapped in his cell because he's been tortured with the Moogs. And he's reflecting on his torture these past few weeks and his interaction with Cetricus Raw. He is no longer in West Virginia. He has been driven out somewhere that took about 2 days. He doesn't know where. And as he's doing this reflecting, he's like, he hears a noise. And he's like, oh my God, am I developing legacies? And then
Who?
Sam, well, he's severely dehydrated, severely malnourished. He's like, I must be developing legacies.
I have superpowers now.
And then Sam's like, no, that's fucking insane. That's not happening. And then it happens again, and, like, the ceiling starts to crack, and, like, dust falls. And he's like, okay, so I'm not imagining that. He's like...
Or you could be.
But he's like, the guard are here. They must be here. And,
I forgot the guard was in the numbers. I was like, who the fuck is the
yeah,
guard?
that's their team name. They're like the, Justice League, but the guard with an E at the end.
Oh, the Garde.
Which, I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty sure that's not how it's spelled normally.
The Garde.
But I'm not very good at spelling, so I cannot confirm. He starts screaming his name so that whoever's out there doing something can hear him.
Sam.
Well, way less energy because he only had maybe one cheese Sam. Yeah, that's better. Sam. No, his voice actor, because he gets his own voice person this book, way better than...
You couldn't put up with that for, what, a third of a book?
I couldn't put up for it for any part of this book. Eventually, like, a dude shows up.
Oh,
and he's, like, a couple years older than Sam. And he's, like, really tall and pale. And Sam's like, that's not a human. That's a Mogadorian. He's like, please don't kill me. And the guy's like, hey, we're here to help you. And Sam's like, we. And then a man pushes past him. And it's Sam's papa.
Oh.
And he's there to save him.
Not dead.
Not dead. And more Mogs start showing up. And the guy uses what Sam thinks to be a legacy to move the earth. Like, he's making, like, a little earthquake kind of thing. And Sam and his dad are able to escape. But the boy, Adam, stays behind. So those are two of our new characters, are Adam and Malcolm, who is Sam's dad. Sam learns that he was in Dulce Base, so he was at the same place the guard were. Like, this is happening back to back. The last battle with Cetricus Raw and all the guard. Do you remember any of that?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Because, yeah, for sure.
Okay. And his dad is like, hey, like, we gotta go. And Malcolm's like, Adam helped me find you. And he's different than the others. He's not like other Mogadorians.
Don't be racist, Sam.
I mean, pretty much.
He's not like other Mogadorians.
And he's like, hey, there's a lot of wreckage outside. Did you guys cause all that? And Sam and his dad's like, no. And Sam's like, the guard must be here. And he's like, let's go help them. And his dad's like, what the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah. You are a little person.
And you're malnourished.
You have no powers.
You've got nothing. You've been starved. His dad's like, no. My number one priority now is keeping you safe.
Unlike the last 16 years.
7 years. Sam then, as they're driving, tells his dad the story of John and how, they got this.
John Bean.
Yeah. And they arrive at this shitty motel, and Sam's just like, I'm just glad to have a nice shower.
Honestly.
Yeah. And Sam's like, hey, how'd you meet Adam, Dad? Like, that's kind of weird as shit. And Malcolm's like, I was kept in a prison, and the Mogs were doing experiments on me.
Radical.
To try to get into my mind. And Adam saved me from that. And he's like, things are really fuzzy now since they messed with my mind. And he's like, Sam, I think I got that boy killed. I mean, you didn't do it, but he's probably dead. They then decide to call Sam's mom.
Radical.
Leave a message. Choice. Because Malcolm stopped on the way there and was like, hey, what's up, Queen? And she was like, go fuck yourself. And that's how he learned that Sam was missing. And he's like, we at least owe her an explanation. Yeah.
100%.
You both do.
A lot more than that, actually.
So they both leave her a message, and that's kind of where we end up on their story.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about
what's
that
opener?
Up? That was the first 4 chapters.
We're kind of together and not missing or dead. See you later.
Good one. How do you feel about that opener?
It's a book.
Yeah. Back to John. I don't give a shit about John. He's the least interesting character in my opinion. Who do you think's the least interesting? Is it also John, or do you think somebody else?
Marina.
Marina is
John.
kind of a bitch. John has not been sleeping well since, they got back to Chicago after that big-ass battle. I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
And he's been chilling on the roof being a depressed little bitch about things.
The PTSD and stuff.
Yeah. Downstairs, Marina's cooking, and John's like, hey, we have to get some sort of chore wheel going. And Marina's kind of like, yeah, cool on the chore wheel, but, what about the plan for, the next step?
What about the multi-planet genocide?
Yeah. And she's kind of insinuating that it's John's responsibility to do so because he kept it the most together. He's been kind of the de facto leader now. I'd be like, no thanks. Democracy, please.
On de facto that shit.
Literally anything else. Well, he's Pittacus Lore, Justin.
Oh. On de facto that. Yeah. Actually?
He's like, I knew that was happening, but, I've been dragging my feet because I just want to spend time with Sarah.
Kill this man.
Selfish motherfucker.
Kill this man.
He's got no sense of anything.
Kill this man.
He pisses me off. Speaking of Sarah, Justin, they're sleeping in the same bed.
What the heck? Are they married?
I don't think so.
You can't do that if you're not married.
That's not allowed. We
didn't. We waited till marriage like good Christians.
Mm-hmm. 9's looking for him, and he runs into 6, who gives him an update on Ella, who's been having horrible nightmares since they got back, and Marina...
No way,
an 11-year-old? And they've been... Marina and 6 have been taking turns, sleeping with her. And John's like, maybe they're magic dreams. And 6 is like, or she's 11.
And... terrorized.
So she's like, please just talk to her and remember that she's 11 and terrorized. Because John's like, well, I had magic dreams, and 6 is like, or she's a kid,
or she's a child, and kind of went through a lethal battle.
Yeah.
With a monster.
Yeah. 6 and 8 go to play fight, and 9 pops up, and he's like, hey, John, here's this thing. And he's drawn, the schematic floor plans of what he can remember from West Virginia. And he's like, yeah, I'm handing this to you so that you can come up with a plan to fuck shit up. And John's like, we should probably get 5 first. And 9's like, I'll follow your lead, but I'm getting pretty motherfucking stir crazy. And John's like, what if I don't have a plan? And 9's like, that cannot happen. Sucks for you.
Not a choice.
Yep, that sucks. And then John's back on the roof talking to Ella, who tells him about her dreams. And basically it's a recreation of the fight. But when she threw it, I don't know if you remember, she threw something at Citricus Raw. Mm-hmm. And it basically, they got their legacies back. And so she's like...
Oh, the redstone.
Yes.
The redstone of weak Citricus.
Mm-hmm. And John's like, oh my god, what if you just got a new legacy? That would be... And Ella's like...
It was a rock.
Well, she's like, I don't give a shit. I'm having nightmares.
Yeah.
And apparently, she continues because he interrupted her because he's a jackass. And apparently,
as I was saying,
Ra would, turn to her in the middle of the battle in this nightmare and go, I've been looking for you.
Cool.
That would freak me out.
That's fucking super creepy, actually.
Yeah. So he's not really a good help. He's basically remember that it's a dream, and you can just punch him.
Cool.
Not helpful. John finds Sarah shooting a gun, which makes him extremely uncomfy. She's Goral. His to protect.
She literally doesn't have any powers, though.
Literally.
This is the best thing she could be doing with her time.
She kind of goes off on, 6 is there at first, teaching her, which makes him even extra uncomfy because they had kissed, and he hasn't told Sarah yet. So he's, 3 levels of uncomfy.
Hey, I bet she wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Actually, again... She talked to you, was nice to you, kind of had a crush, ended up in a government black site, fought a super alien, and now needs to learn how to survive.
Also, at the point, because they're teens, so the kissing is important. Mm-hmm. At the point when they kissed, he straight up thought she had given them up to the Moogs and the government. That would kind of break my trust a little bit. Mm-hmm. But either way... Sarah's like, I refuse to be dead weight or the damsel in distress.
Hell yeah.
That's not going to be me.
Hell yeah, dude.
And John's like, well,
but I want you to be.
Yeah, but stop it. Not supposed to have gun. Which is really annoying. After John's uncomfy bitch boy little bitchiness, I don't know, he just pisses me off.
Yeah.
The whole group of them gather in the tech room, and 9 shows them that 5 has burnt crop circles in like Florida or something. Cool. And they're like, is he the dumbest little motherfucker? They are so mean to him.
Who?
The whole group.
No, who are they mean to? 9?
5. Who's burnt crop circles. They're like, why is 5 like the dumbest piece of shit in the whole world? Like,
probably because he hasn't had any involvement in this.
Any involvement, any communication. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
5's a boy. I'm just gonna stick with 5. And he pronouns. Because then, like, after they're arguing about this, they agree that this is like the dumbest shit 5 could have done, and they argue about 5's gender, because this is a kid's book, before realizing 5 must have the ability to fly, based on how fast he's going from place to place.
Radical ability. Or teleport.
Well...
Or run really fast.
Oh, well, Marina's already got super speed, and 8 can teleport only 250 feet at a time.
Yeah.
So unless he outranks both of them on that.
Yeah.
Where was I? Sorry, Stinky scared me.
Let me just continue.
And they're like, oh shit, we gotta find 5 before the Mogs do. Like, wasn't that the plan the whole time? It's just a little expedited now because he's doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
Also, like, what else is he supposed to do? Like, you're all over there. No one's trying to get to 5.
No.
We don't know anything about 5, and they honestly are so mean to him about this crop circle thing. It hurts my feelings. John's like, hey, Marina mentioned a letter, John talks to Marina.
Wait, how do they know it's 5 doing the crop circles?
The number that he's crop circling is the Loric number for 5.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, do you know who could do crop circles?
Literally anyone?
Anyone.
Yeah. It's not like, other funsies. It's not like just space color. It's like the number 5.
Yeah.
We then pause, so like John just goes to talk to Marina about the letter that Ella got that he learned about when they talked last. And he's like, whoa. He's like, she needs to read that letter. And Marina's like, easier said than done. And
she literally can't read.
Well, her Sapon Papa literally just died.
Yeah.
More accurate. And let's be honest, it took John like a full ass week to read the letter Henri left him, and he's 6 years older than Ella.
Yeah.
And so he's judging her because he's an asshole.
Literally, I read my Weta.
I literally read my Weta 1 week afterwards.
I only
It's been like, what, 5 days? She's closing in on her time.
Come on.
Yeah, come on, who? What's the character?
I don't care anymore.
Come on, Ella. Marina's like, okay, I'll try to nudge Ella along to read the letter. The next day, there is another brain-dead maneuver from 5 on the internet that alludes towards a meeting location, and John's like, fine, 6, me, and BK are going to go. And Sarah's
even though the Mogs are going to be there.
Yeah. And Sarah's like, well, I'm going to join. And John's like, no, you don't need to do that. No, it's okay. And Sarah's like, no, I'm totally fucking coming. And 6 and John argue because 6 was like, I invited her pretty much. Like, why not?
Yeah.
And 6 is like, fuck off. She's like a big kid. She can think for herself. She doesn't want to be dead weight. And also you need to tell her about how we kissed.
Yeah.
Marina. We have a quick filler episode.
Radical.
Marina and 8 go on a date into the city. That's the whole chapter. They have this cute little date. 8's like, I owe you my life, Marina, because you broke the prophecy of Ra killing me. She's like, okay, let's just have good days. Like, stop being weird. And when they return, 9's pissed. He's like, you guys have had it easy. You can't just go running around without telling me, and I'm going to train you. That's how his voice sounds. Which feels pretty fair. The two of them relatively have had it easy in comparison to the others. Like, they've not had easy times.
Yeah.
But training-wise, Marina doesn't know shit. Okay, we're still on Marina. 9 decides that he's going to whip 8 and Marina into shape, and that Marina is much more of a defensive player. Like, she doesn't have very many, if any,
strong attacks.
Yeah, let me read her notes again. She's got telekinesis, underwater breathing, super speed, and healing of plants and animals. So not a very attack.
Super speed, I would say.
Teaching her to shoot a gun. Literally anything, but... Anyways, that's what they decide, and Nine's like, okay, cool, because you also suck at fighting, let's just focus on you being able to get to people more quickly, to heal them. Which feels like a fair...
She's the healer of the group now.
Yeah. Even though John also has the healing ability.
But he also has attacks.
And he's a boy.
That's true. I did forget about that.
You forgot. Idiot. Eight and Marina realize, like, Nine's actually really good at, like, directing their strengths and teaching them to be their best at fighting. They're like, wow, he is really good at that. And they're thinking that, and then Ella shows up. She's dressed in, civilian clothes. I don't know what else she was dressed in before and why this is a different outfit. But she looks like she was crying, and she's like, hey, I'm leaving you guys. I read Creighton's letter, and I'm leaving because I'm not one of you. And Marina reads Creighton letters, and Creighton's like, OMG, I lied. I've lied the whole time we've known each other. I'm a big old liar. You're not actually one of the 10. Pretty much, there was this, it's like QAnon, but for the Lorik. There was a secret war going on. This whole, like, the whole peace, love, and unity that the Lorik had going on was a lie. There were secret wars going on the whole time. But they wanted to be like, no, like, we're really cool and happy.
Just, like, political plays and stuff like that.
Pretty much. And, it was, well, there was, like, actual real wars, too. There was some wars between the Lorik and the Mogs. Again, this is, like, who knows?
Yeah.
And during this time of peace, air quotes, where these secret wars were happening, her great-grandfather died, and her dad became obsessed with these wars. So he became like a right-wing conspiracy theorist.
Radical. And
with that, an immediate recluse. And he was like uber rich. And he had all these like chimeras, and that's where Creighton was. Creighton was hired to be his animal caretaker. So he's not a Sapon, he's not a guard, he's just a dude who lived with them.
He's Dan.
He's just a guy. And then she was born, and her Ridgie... Guess what 2 words I was trying to say? Any idea?
No idea.
Crazy rich dad. I guess it was 3
Reggie,
words. Reggie dad. His like wife was like,
no,
hey,
not Reggie dad, because that's like saying ATM machine.
That's true. Her Reggie had to donate some of his stuff because her mom was like, hey, yo, we have a lot of crazy people stuff in the house. Can we get rid of some of it? So that's where the ship...
Why do we have so many don't tread on me flags? What does that even mean?
Hey, what's going on? Who's this Trump fella?
What's America, and why is it need to be recreated better?
But the decked out ship, like old Lorik ship that she flew in on, was donated to the museum, and that's how they escaped, is because he decked it out because he's a crazy person. Basically, she was just a rich kid that got away.
So, Superman.
I mean, yeah. Ella's Superman.
Because that's Superman's origin story, is his dad was super rich and sent him off in a rocket because of a conspiracy theory.
Well, wasn't the planet, like, actively blowing up when Superman was sent off?
Yeah. But I
guess her planet was actively blowing up, too.
Yeah.
There was a literal genocide going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Marina and 8 are like, hey, like they're like gentle parenting her. They're like, you're still one of us. Like, you're still important. And 9's like, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit about all that?
Yeah.
I wish there were more selfish, rich assholes who sent their kids out.
Yeah.
Like, that would be great. And between, like, the 3 of them and their different methods, Ella's kind of like, oh, okay, like, I must have just been really freaking out because I missed my dead dad.
True.
Yeah. That'll do it. That'll do it. And then they all hug, and that's not even a joke. Back to John, our fave. They're on their mission to go find 5 now. And it's 6, Sarah, John, and BK. There are so many characters.
Yep.
I'm reading this book currently. Not this one, a different book. And there are so many characters that they just, like, introduce somebody, and I was like, I am not sure I've seen that name before. There are that many characters.
Yeah. It's funny because, like, some of them are just numbers.
Yeah.
Which you'd think would make it easier to remember.
Yeah. Oh, 8. Except for not all of them are numbers.
But, wait. 8, does that 6 power or 8's power? Or...
Who's got what? I literally have a key growing important characters
Did 9
list.
say that or 8 say that? What?
Yeah, it's intense. But John and 6 have a lot of tension, and it's so clear that Sarah's like, hey, like when they're at a gas station, she's like, you need to go talk to her. Like, you guys need to break whatever the fuck's going on between the two of you up. Like, get your shit straight. And John is also being, like, super weird about things and tries to, like, during their drive, though, like, he's being really weird. Like, he's like, you're going too fast, Sarah. Like, slow down, slow down, slow down. Like, the whole time. And basically, John's just, like, a huge misogynist. He's like, I don't want Sarah to die. And 6 is like, 1, any of us could die at any point in time.
What about me, fuckhead?
Yeah, and 2, like, she explicitly has said and given her consent that she wants to be involved in a higher capacity.
Yeah.
Stop. So, after their talk, 6 and John agree to work together because 6 realizes that, like, John and Sarah are supposed to be together and that they shouldn't have kissed while Sarah was involved, while Sarah was involved with John. And TBH, John's like, well, we did just think she'd betrayed us to the Moogs.
That's a good point.
But they did almost kiss beforehand, too. Either way, it kind of sounds like John's kind of a slut.
Kind of a whore.
Kind of. But they agree to forget about it and be happy. Still feels like Sarah should at least be told. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a pretty big privacy violation. Or privacy relationship violation. Even though the relationship was, like, 5 months at that point.
Yeah.
That's still a long time. They reach the area where 5 said he'd be waiting, and it's really dark, so they go invisible, scout, and 5's just, like, sitting, chilling, looking kind of bored.
Mm-hmm. What's
and
up?
He doesn't have a chest, and there's no sign of the Moogs. And they're like, wow, this seems like a trap.
Mm-hmm.
But go up to him anyways.
Cool.
And eventually, like, he's fidgeting with a metal and rubber ball, and they're talking in circles, and eventually they come to the conclusion that they are number 5 and number 4. They are both Lorik. And he's, like, crazy excited. He's like, oh, my God. And John's like, hey, not the brightest idea on the crop circles, man. And 6 pops out and is like, are you fucking dumb? Why would you announce yourself like that? 6 puts it to him real.
Sets him straight.
Yeah. Either way, like, to them, 5 seems really sheltered, but very excited to meet them. I should say, he's very fat and short.
A little fatty short.
So out of all
like the principal?
Like the principal. And let me just finish this. He's surprised to see that Sarah's human, like there's an alliance. And as they're about to leave, there's a Moog ship that shows up, obviously. And 5's like, oh, so that's what they look like. But
what if we didn't know that?
Character design. He's fat and ugly. What do you think that means about his character?
He's a bad person.
Bad person. Okay. Keep that in mind.
If you're fat and ugly, you're a bad person.
Obviously, you're a horrible person.
Yeah. That's why you're fat and ugly.
Also, I've just noticed you have rubber bands all over your desk. You should be careful because Bruno, if he sees those, he's going to eat all of them.
I keep them pretty good.
Okay, just making sure.
And
just
that's going to be in the podcast?
Yeah, that's going to be in the podcast because I don't feel like editing it out. And also, safety tip, everybody. Cats will eat rubber bands. Okay. John, big fight scene. Sarah's fighting. John and 6 are fighting. 5 is kind of shell-shocked, like he's not really doing anything.
BK's kissing everybody. 6 lightning downs the ship. They have to fight They fight.
Yeah, 5's... The only thing that's important during this is that 5's, like, not fucking helping at all.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, what?
Oh my god.
And Sarah's able to hold her own, which is really nice. And this is where we learn about one of 5's legacies, which is jelly arms. Not really, but he does have the legacy to take on the qualities of whatever he touches.
Cool.
Hence the rubber and steel balls he carries around everywhere.
Yeah.
So they've cleared most of the Moogs, and we're like, wow, that was really easy. Strange.
He's Kevin from Ben 10.
Kevin?
You remember that?
I don't remember Kevin. I remember Ben 10, which was a great show.
He could just touch anything and then build a suit of armor around him with that thing.
So it was Iron Man.
No.
I'm confused.
So it was like a crystal, and then he would like have crystal skin, and if he touched a like road, he could have concrete
Kevin?
skin.
Is Kevin like Sam in this? Like he's just some side character they picked up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you gonna keep telling me?
That's it. Yeah.
I don't remember Kevin.
The same power as Kevin.
Well, or when was 5? When was this character introduced?
Pretty late in the game.
Never mind. Then from the ship, a massive centipede beast comes out and joins them.
Radical.
And
I hate that.
John flies on 5's back to kill it.
Do you know what's worse than a centipede?
What?
A big centipede.
A big centipede. I don't have problems with centipedes.
I have beef with centipedes.
Are you gonna explain that?
Bad vibes.
All right.
Bad vibes.
I have beef with centipedes. Sounds good. John's about ready to get swallowed when somebody shoots the beast in the eyeball and it dies. And he sees Sarah and Six running toward a middle-aged man and someone else, and it's Sam.
And his papa.
Yes. So Sam is there now.
And they have a gun.
A big gun. Good. They were in Texas, to be fair.
Yeah. You just should have a gun. They should all have a gun.
They should all have automatic weapons of some sort.
John should have a gun.
Sarah should have 5 guns.
Yes.
Everybody should have a gun. Especially now minimum. That they know that Cetricus Raw can just, like, turn off their abilities. Yeah.
It's like, I gotta fight him with a sword.
No. You don't have to, actually. There are guns.
Yeah, you can use a gun, actually. Have you ever heard of a 12-gauge shotgun?
I haven't.
Ooh, kill him.
6 gives Sam an extra long, very awkward hug, and he's like, yummy. But he has to say hi to everybody else, and before John gives him wrong, he's like, what does he say? When I showed up in your room that one time, what did you do? Mm-hmm. And Sam's like, I pulled a gun on you. And John's like, hey, sorry, man, I just needed to confirm you weren't Cetricus Raw. Mm-hmm. Obviously.
Yeah, you should be doing that every time now.
To every person you meet that isn't within your core group at all times.
And kind of just, like, random people you meet.
Like, how are they going to know that 5 isn't Cetricus Raw?
Yeah.
He's not, by the way.
Oh,
that would have been a really good plot twist.
Spoiler.
What, that he's not Cetricus Raw?
Yeah.
Did you think he was?
Spoilers.
Okay. John is super glad to have met Malcolm, and he even apologizes for bringing Sam into this. And during this reunion, 5's, like, super awkward and not very kind. And I'm like, what else would he have been during this? He doesn't know.
Super small talky and, like, happy to see everybody, obviously.
Like, oh, hey, you're Sam.
Oh, wait. He's fat and ugly.
He's fat and ugly.
Yeah, so he's mean as well.
Therefore, you're miserable and an asshole.
Yep.
They get moving, and 6 is like, Sam, like, you have to work hard next time for those extra hugs. Like, you better get in prison again. And basically, she's like, I care about you, but shut up.
Sam, don't hit me with the, where's my hug?
Maybe Sam before at Paradise would have been an incel, but he's not now. Before they all leave, 5 is like, hey, P.S. I lost the Zatharis stone. You know the Zatharis?
Yeah.
It's the stone that transfers legacies for like an hour. 6 had thrown it at him. Why? I don't fucking know. That was really dumb of her. But
thrown it at who?
At 5. Before the fight. She like Kobe'd it at him.
Here you go.
And he's like, so, yeah, I don't know. Like, they're all like, oh no, I can't believe you. What? You gave him a random rock.
Oh, a rock. Okay, drop.
Yeah. So when they get back, 9's like right at the elevator. 9 has this habit of being like in front of the elevator before anybody walks in. Yeah. And he's like, why did you bring me back a hobbit, an old man, and a nerd?
Radical. Which
rightfully so, like kind of rubs 5 the wrong way. And it's this big reunion, and there's a meet and greet, and 9 like comes up to Sam and like, because this is all in Sam's perspective.
Yeah.
So he's like, hey, I'm really sorry that I left you there. Like, that was my call, not John's. I'm sorry. I know what they do. And Sam's like, They kind of acknowledge, without talking about it, the torture that Sam probably received. And did receive. We know he received some pretty bad torture. He's got these huge scars on his wrist now.
Cool.
Which for 9 being such like an asshole character, like he's the most grown up of any of them.
All of them. Yeah, he's the most emotionally mature person there.
He's still an asshole.
Yeah.
But just like, it's like, okay. I don't know. 5 is off-putting and not very friendly, which I wouldn't be either if all of a sudden, like, 9 people were coming up to me and trying to talk to me.
Yeah, that's too many people.
Yeah. And eventually they just, like, give him his bedroom, and John takes Sam and Malcolm around to see the tech stuff 9 has set up. And after dropping 5 off, they all kind of, they're like, wow, he's really weird.
Isn't the penthouse in Chicago?
Yes.
Where did they just meet 5?
In Arkansas.
How? What?
They drove back. Fast.
That's like an 8-hour drive minimum.
There wasn't a time. They didn't give the time. They just ended up back there. I think they drove back.
Okay.
So anyways, they're like talking about how like off-putting and weird 5 is. I'm like, what do you want from him?
He's just like so quiet and fat and ugly.
And he's weird. But Malcolm lights up at the tech stuff, which actually actively pisses me off. Because Malcolm's story, basically he was an astronomer. Studier of the stars. In a scientific way. Not astrology, astronomy.
Yeah. The real one.
And he was a college professor of astronomy. And basically he became like a crazy person. People were like, he's a crazy person. He's like, there's aliens out there. Which, like, I don't know anybody in that field that would be like, you're crazy for thinking that.
Literally.
But he was accosted for that. And
the general consensus, I feel like, in the scientific community is just like, it is unlikely that there's not.
Yeah, why wouldn't there be?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's apparently also incredibly tech savvy, and I don't see how that fits into his story at all. And it actually pisses me off. So John's like, hey, I'm really glad to have you here, and even more glad that you and Sam found each other. Which is sweet. At dinner, everyone tells their story. There's literally this whole chapter is everybody going, each of them telling their story.
Cool.
So the authors were like, oh, I don't know, how are we going to get 5 story? How about everybody just do a quick recap? Quick recap.
I hate that, actually.
It was really fucking annoying.
That's actually bad.
Yeah. So they do this, in the book, the reasoning is to make 5 and Malcolm and Sam feel more comfortable.
The thing is, too, you can tell and not show that, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
We updated them on what's been going on, and then they told us this.
5's story is that his Sapon, whose name was Albert, was way older than the rest of theirs, more like grandpa level old, and eventually he just got sick and passed away. And they had lived on a bunch of really small Caribbean islands, just island hopping, and 5 wasn't sure, Albert and his Sapon was even telling the truth, and wasn't. Remember how we talked about it at the beginning, how are these kids supposed to know this shit's true?
Yeah.
Until they're and that's basically, it was like, until my telekinesis showed up, I thought he was carving scars into my leg in the middle of the night.
Radical.
So, I get it though. That's 100% I get that. And eventually he just started staying hidden after hiding his chest in the Everglades. And out of nowhere, Malcolm kind of has the scissors are a part of it moment. Which nobody will get.
No one will get. That's just a you and me reference, actually.
Well, me and my dad, too. But basically he has stop the chests moment. And he's like, the chests are very imperative. And everyone's like, oh, hey, Malcolm, do you want to fucking tell us something?
Welcome back.
And he's like, yes, each chest contains something that will bring Lorien back to life. And they're like, how do you know that? And he's like, because Pittacus Lore told me himself.
Cool.
And 9's like, hey, John thinks he's Pittacus.
This idiot.
Literally, we're still in Sam's perspective. And all the Lorics are like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And Malcolm's like, give me 5. My brain doesn't work right. Because they had dug into his brain and tore memories out and stuff like that. And this is where we get his backstory. So one day, like, Pittacus just showed up. Dying. And they're like, oh, is that his skeleton in the bunker? Did you remember? Yeah. And he's like, I think so. And I'm like, why did he just leave his skeleton to rot in the bunker?
That guy's dead.
He made an active choice to do that. He didn't immediately get kidnapped afterwards.
That guy's dead.
Right? Isn't that weird?
I have to mow the lawn tomorrow.
That's so weird.
Sam has a soccer game.
I don't have time to move this body.
I guess I'll just lock it back in there.
I'll just close it up.
Yeah.
Malcolm's like, I was an astronomer, like I said. And then one day, like, that's when Pittacus showed up. And he was basically like, we're going to send some kids here. You need to gather other people to be receivers. And there's something in the chests that'll help Lorianne. And John's like, shit, we need to inventory these chests ASAP. And Malcolm's like, I was held hostage by the Moogs for years, who killed all the other greeters and their families. And Malcolm was the first greeter, which is why they experimented on him. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Why didn't they take his family?
Yeah.
If he's the first greeter, why did Sam and his wife...
Why were they just left out of this?
Yeah, like if they took the greeters...
If Sarah got dragged into this?
Literally. But no, God forbid they take Malcolm's family.
Yeah. Which
to me is just completely... Like, that's torture 101. Get the family.
Yeah.
Anyways. He was experimented on for these years. He was kept in, like, coma-like states for long periods of time. Why are you shaking your head agreeing with me?
Hell yeah.
He was kept in coma-like states for a long time, and eventually he was able to escape with the help of a non-human boy named Adam. And this puts everyone on edge that this could be a trap, as it should.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
And where was I? Malcolm's like, no, like, hey, I learned a lot about their, what's it called? Culture. So Adam is what they call a trueborn Mogadorian.
Mm-hmm.
Physically birthed by another Mogadorian. Mm. Apparently they have really low birth rates, yeah, of these trueborns. So what they see more often are Vatborns, clones. And apparently Adam is the son of a high-ranking... high-ranking Mogadorian, trueborn
high-ranking Moog.
Thank you, babe. And they did experiments on Adam as well with number 1's body. To try to steal what she knew. Number 1 was a girl. And...
I'll kill a woman first, am I right?
Basically, it seems like they mind melded. And then 1 was like, I'm going to give you my legacies. But she only had the 1 at the time, which was Earthquakes, I think? Rock. So he had like a rebellious spirit and was like, well, my people are fucked. You know, that kind of storyline. What? You falling asleep? Come on, we got this. And everyone's like, oh my God, he stole the legacy. They can steal our legacies. And Sam's like, you're all dumb. Like, I don't think they can do that because otherwise they would have.
Yeah.
Already, every single one of them would have legacies.
You guys would not have powers.
Literally. So Adam must have inherited the legacy somehow. Yeah. Not stolen it.
It was given, not taken.
Yeah. And 5 is skeptical, like, are we sure this isn't a trap? But John's like, I trust them a lot.
Cool.
Therefore, no trap.
Yeah, because you've known Malcolm for a long time.
And you've known 6 for, 3 more months?
Yeah.
Than everybody else?
And Sam for, 4 more months?
Literally. Sam can't sleep, so he walks around and spooks 5, who's like, hey, I'm sorry I'm so socially awkward. And it's like, why?
He's just jumping out at him.
Ooh, gotcha. Ooh. And then he runs into Sarah, and they're like, hey, like, this is crazy. Isn't this crazy? And they're
That's
like, yeah.
So crazy.
And they're like, we don't really know how to help, but we're going to do something about it. And before, they can really separate, somebody screaming scares the shit out of them.
Yeah.
So now we're on to Marina's
Makes sense.
perspective. Ella's screaming a lot, and Marina is there, and she, like, touches Ella to wake her up. She sees the image of Chicago in ruins, and Ella's like, oh my god, you must have seen it too. Like, I can't let anyone near me. What if they see it?
Chicago.
And Marina's like, yo, what the fuck? And Ella's like, yeah, Ross sends me these images. We're like pen pals.
Cool.
And she's like, there's nothing we can do to stop it. And Marina's like, well, we've changed predictions before. Like, remember, like, 8's still alive. Like, there's no set future. And Ella's like, I literally just want them to stop.
I will kill who I have to kill.
We're almost done. Are you excited?
Yes.
This is one of our quicker episodes. Not much happened in this first half of this book. John...
Why was it so long?
Exactly. That's my point. John gathers everybody for a quick strategy sesh, starting with Ella's nightmares, and she's like, hey, like, it's crazy. I think there's some truth, but not always. And Malcolm's like, yeah, cool, shut up about that. It's kind of weird, the fact that he can transmit them to you guys, and that he showed you Chicago. Like, does he know where we are? Everyone's like, yeah, but, like, if they could track us, we'd be dead by now. Pretty solid point.
Yep.
And Nine's like, hey, let's just go kill Raw. And everyone's like, no, I think we need to train first and find Five's chest and deal with the nightmare situation. And then there's, like, worry about their wild card, Adam.
Yeah.
But there's still no word about Adam. And Ella's like, I'll just punch Raw in the balls next time he stops my dream. And that's the meeting.
I'll just kick him.
I'll just punch Raw. How'd you feel about that? This book is really boring.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
I will tell you, though, remember how I said somebody dies? You said number 7, Marina. Do you want to amend your guess at this point? We're about halfway through the book. Or do you feel confident? Number 7?
Yeah.
She's gone? Okay. Any ideas on how she's going to go?
Wait, you're not counting Sam's dad as
No.
one of them. Okay.
Actually, I'm pretty sure Sam's dad stays alive the whole time.
No fucking way. Mm-hmm. With
They come kill all the adults.
The boner they have for killing adults.
The boner they have for killing adults. Yep.
Has to extend to Malcolm.
But it would be sad.
That's where the boner comes from.
How are you feeling? This one is so boring.
It was boring.
In comparison to the other ones?
Yeah.
I, like, feel bad. Like, we actually read an extra 4-chunk chapter, and we're still under the amount of time we usually do.
Yeah, we did, like, a 3 chapter just, they did this.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of internal monologue, too. It's like, and then they fight. It's like, now we gotta come up with a plan. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you listen this far into the end, thank you.
You must like this show.
Please rate us on Spotify. Check us out on YouTube. Give us a 5-star
or 0 stars
rating. 5 or 0 stars.
Those are the only options.
Preferably 5. That's it. Justin, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I want to go to bed.
My name's Blue, and I love to read.
I'm so sleepy. My name's Justin.
And you?
I hate reading because I'm so tired.
There you go.